Hello, folks, and welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. And my guest today, once again, is Thabiso Morebantwa, who is a counselor in the Ramotswa Moila, if I can pronounce it correctly, municipality, which is up there in Zeerust in Northwest Province. You may recall that we found out about his party courtesy of Michael Atkins, the election analyst, who pointed out some errors in the Independent Electoral Commission's results from last year. They mistakenly attributed 19 votes for the economic freedom fighters in one ward as 191. As a consequence, during the proportional representation round, the Forum for Democrats, a new party in Northwest, did not get a seat. Michael Atkins became aware of that. He contacted the Independent Electoral Commission. The Independent Electoral Commission blew him off. He contacted the party. The party contacted the IEC. The IEC told him, get stuffed, foot sec, it's too late, which is not what the law in South Africa says. So I became aware of it and got the Freedom Action Network involved, and they got attorneys involved. And next thing you know, the IEC admits its error in December and tells the city to install Thabiso as a member of the council. They failed to do that. It takes court action not until the spring, winter in South Africa, but spring here. Earlier this year was he installed. He's now a member of the council, and we haven't shown the video yet because of the bogus strikes on my channel, plus travel. But we did meet when I was in Zeerust, and that video will be up on the program probably in December. We'll get up there. But Thabiso, that's a long intro. Welcome to the program. Otsihile. Okay, there you go. Make sure we get the Setswana in there. I can't be claiming that I promote the language if we never use it. But I'm well, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you back again. Listen, I asked you to come back, and I think you also said would I like to have you back because you want to talk about some developments. Now, a couple of things. I've seen some of the letters, a letter that you drafted right after joining the council, sending a message to the head of the council or the mayor saying that there are some irregularities here. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. Can you tell us, is that the case? Are there some irregularities that you're trying to get resolved?
Irregularities relates to the supply chain policy of the municipality that I saw to it that to some instance has been contravened. And I took an opportunity to write a letter to the municipal mayor to say, look, it has come to my realization that there's been some irregularities. But before I get into that, the first thing that I picked up, it was that even though the court has declared that I'm a councillor, and the seat has to be taken from the EFF and awarded to Forum for Democrats, the municipal manager continued to pay the person who was a member of council, even though there is a letter, even though there was a court judgment. And based on that, I wrote a letter that, no, this contravenes the laws. Because even the Gazette on Remuneration of Public Representations is very clear that you cannot remunerate a person who's not a member of council. So I wrote a letter to say, no. You have contravened the law. It cannot be that you continue to remunerate a person who is just a public member, who's not a member of council, and you continue to remunerate that particular person. But he did not respond to my letters. He just chose to keep quiet. And I brought another matters that I already have picked up that there were some irregularities concerning those matters. The second point was that there were vehicles that were bought for the office of the mayor and the speaker. And they were not budgeted for because our laws are very clear in relation to budgeting that you only procure what is budgeted for. What is not budgeted for, you cannot procure. But he procured vehicles. Other than that, there was a council resolution that prohibits procurement of vehicle for the office of the mayor. The result of that was because the previous mayor refused that he be provided with a vehicle, and they went out for renting. And because of renting, they exhausted the budget. And based on that, the council resolved that no. We can no longer procure a vehicle, but we have to use one of the vehicles that is within the pool. Now, based on that, I said even the council resolution was in place. So some of those were some of the issues that I brought forth. That no, there are certain irregularities on that, Chris.
So let's focus on the first issue there. Now, the person from the EFF who was erroneously placed on the council in the seat that your party had earned in the proportional representation round. If I recall correctly, I might have the dates wrong, but I think I'm pretty straight. I think it was December 17th of 2021 when the Independent Electoral Commission directed the municipality to remove that person, and it wasn't until May that they were removed. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. You are correct. They did not act until we went to court. That's the only period that they acted by the end of April. That's when they acted, because I was sworn in around the 26th of April. Now, that's the only time that they acted. But even after my swearing in, they continued to pay him. They continued. They did not stop at that particular point. They continued to pay. So this irregularity, it continued from December, January, February, March until April. They only ceased when they realized that, no, we can no longer go forthrightly with it because now they will be caught up. So that was the irregularity that I brought forth, that no, you cannot do that. That is incorrect. Other than adding to that, we have what we call the Municipal Infrastructure Grant. The Municipal Infrastructure Grant is used for projects, and it's mainly used for that purposes. But you will see that the municipality is not collecting. But because they are not collecting monies, they cannot generate their own revenue. They will use that fund to pay salaries of officials and councillors. And even that, I brought to his attention that no, you cannot do that, because this fund, it's meant for a particular people. So you cannot continue to use some. So there are a lot of things that were being done that were incorrect, and I did put them on a letter to bring to his attention that these matters are wrong. You cannot continue to do that.
So to your knowledge, there's been no action by the municipality to recoup the money that was erroneously paid to your predecessor who was occupying the seat illegitimately?
You know, what happened is that after I've written a letter to him, he did not respond. He did not respond at all to that matter. He tried to engage me, and I said, no, I've written a letter to you. You cannot, having written a letter to you, engage me personally. Now, based on that, I took another action. I wrote a letter to the Office of the Public Protector to bring to the attention of the Office of the Public Protector that there are irregularities that I have came across. And the municipal manager or the Office of the Mayor is not willing to address those issues. And further than that, I wrote a letter to the Provincial Department of Treasury and the National Treasury to bring this to their attention that, no, it cannot be correct. And you are correct that in my letter, I made it clear that paying that particular person who was there erroneously in office, even after the time that the IEC has written a letter that he be removed, those money have to be recouped. He has to pay that money. It's either the municipal manager himself, he paid the money, or the municipal manager, he recouped the money. Remember, the Office of the Public Protector is a Section 9 institution, and it's dealing with protecting other matters relating to the public. So based on that, because I realized that this matter is a matter that is of an interest to the public, because if money or funds are used for purposes that are not intended for, you will not have service delivery. You have strikes, you have road closure, you have a lot of, because the that are supposed to do something, those funds are used for a particular purpose. So the municipal manager ignored at all to act on those issues. So based on those irregularities, I wrote to other offices, and rightly so, the Office of the MEC responded to some of the allegations. I think we will deal with that as we proceed. But another thing of the irregularity that I will bring to your attention is that you find people who are in offices of authorities, like municipal managers. When they appoint companies, they appoint people who are close to them. They appoint their friends, or they appoint their former colleagues whom they were working with in past years or within the sphere of local government or even the provincial government. Now, that was another thing that was happening that I brought to his attention, that some of the companies that we have appointed, those companies, some of them you have relationship with, and the supply chain policy, it's very clear that there has to be ethical standard that will be, and I made it clear to him, but most unfortunately what he does, he just chose to remain silent and does nothing about those issues. And like there was an issue of diaries that were bought for councillors, and I said, but one of the people that you contracted has a close relationship with a person who is a secretary in your office. How does you appoint a person who is a is very close, has a close relationship with a person who is the secretary in your office? It cannot be correct. I said that it's a conflict of interest. Not do that. You cannot pass the public scrutiny. You cannot explain yourself. How do you appoint people who are close to people who are within you? All the irregularities that I did pick up, and these are the irregularities that I tried by all means to address with him.
Well, Thabiso, it doesn't surprise me at all. The African National Congress has led Northwest Province since the inception of all democratic elections back in 1994. And if you look at the municipalities, every single municipality is controlled by the ANC. And we know, of course, that that province is under receivership because of malgovernance and malpractice. So it doesn't surprise me at all. What does raise questions, I'm curious about this. You brought this to the attention of the, I guess this is the mayor you brought attention to, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you brought it to the attention.
Yes, I brought these matters to the attention
of the mayor. Okay. So
come again, Chris.
Yeah, no, I said you brought it to the attention of the mayor. So my question is this. There's I think 38 councillors on the remote Sfera Mola. By the way, named after a very famous Kosi who defied the apartheid regime, for those who don't know that. But anyway, there's 38 councillors there, and 23 seats were won by the ANC. The EFF had won 6, but they had that seat taken away, which went to your party. So the DA has a seat, the Freedom Front Plus has a seat, and the Forum for Service Delivery has 5 seats. Are you getting any support or any encouragement all from any of those 7 councillors from those opposition parties?
First, let me deal with the question, did I bring it to the attention of the mayor? Yes, I brought these matters to the attention of the mayor. I made him aware. And you know what she did? She told me directly to my face, confronted me that he's not going to do anything with the letters that I have written to her. She said it. So based on that, that is why I took another step to write to the Office of the Public Protector, to write to the Office of the Provincial Treasury. Because by law, I'm obliged that if I have come across some irregularities or something that could relate to criminality or fraud, I have to report it. But coming to your question of support from other opposition, you know what is happening? You'll find that you have the municipal manager. When you have the municipal manager is managing these councillors. He's managing these councillors. You have a clique within the councillors who are managing other councillors for their own benefit, to ensure that whatever is being procured, they become beneficiaries of that. That is what is happening. You will find that that is what they are doing. So I will tell you outrightly so that I don't enjoy much support. Only I enjoy support from the DA. I only enjoy support from the Freedom Front Plus. I will tell you the Freedom Front Plus. I will tell you the DA. Yes, when we are having a council, we communicate among ourselves and we have a common understanding and we have a common agenda. These are the only 2 parties that when we have issues, you know, we will support each other. I will support them on their issues. They will support me on their issues. But other political parties, they will defend the municipal manager. They will defend what will benefit them. That is what I will put clear. They don't have the best interest of the community in heart. All that they are doing is to ensure that they benefit in some way. So the other parties, no, they are not supporting me on those issues. Theirs is their financial interest. Allegations, yes, things happen somewhere else where I cannot prove them, but there are allegations that they are being managed monetary-wise. They are giving money. That is why you see when they are in council, they will not support issues that are for the best interest of communities. That is what is happening.
So, Thabiso, let me ask this question. It's a little bit off that topic, but let me ask this question. Do you have other members of your party waiting in the wings so that if you are successful in the upcoming elections in 2024, that maybe you can gain some seats in the provincial legislature? Is that something you're looking towards coming up for 2024, or you're not in that stage yet?
No. We are at that stage. Like you are saying, we have realized that a particular caliber of a leadership that has to rise. So we are busy. We are busy working the by-elections in this Sobota. The Sobota local municipality has been disbanded. We are contesting there. So we are not waiting for anything, because we have come to the realizations that our people need leadership. A leadership that has integrity, leadership that is compassionate, leadership that can stand for the interest of our own people. So we are taking that opportunity to build. So we are not waiting for anything. We cannot say we are not at point at that, because if we are saying that, we are going to allow the current situation to be prolonged to a point that we can no longer do anything about it. So we are ready for 2024. We are busy now, as I have said, preparing for the election in the Sobota local municipality. So we are not taking any chances, but we are saying to our people that Forum for Democrats is there and it has its own interest. And here is another thing, Chris, that we have mentioned, that we have to make our own people aware, that the electorate has to be aware of. You have political parties who will contest elections lambasting the ANC, calling the ANC all sorts of things. But surprisingly, when they go into council, they work with ANC. So we have to make our voters to be very careful of that, because our people who vote for us, they are making the intention, their intention are very clear, that their vote is for us, not for the ANC. So it will be a betrayal that when we get into council, we work with ANC. If we have to in any way be in agreement with ANC, it will have to be on a point that is of the interest to our people. Like I have mentioned to you that we did visit a place that is called Rietvlei because of the appalling situations that we found there, that our people even now are living in mud houses. And we went there and said, no, it cannot be correct that at this particular time, at this juncture, you have people who are living in mud houses. Roads are bad. There are no clinics. If they have to go to a police station, it's somewhere 80 kilometers far. So the security is not there. The health system is not there. There is no infrastructure. They are suffering when it's coming to water. They have to donate money to pump their own water. So we said, look, we cannot allow that situation. As I'm talking to you today, even the councillor of that place has not done anything. There is no change. People still suffering. He's not calling meetings. He's not going there. He's not doing anything. So they are at pleasure. They are actually in council to service themselves. So as Forum for Democrats, we say, no, we cannot allow the particular situation to proceed as it is. That is why I'm saying to you, we will be contesting in 2024, Chris. We are not taking a chance. We will be there availing ourselves, saying to our people, vote for Forum for Democrats. As we are saying now, we are calling the by-election. We are saying to our people, vote for Forum for Democrats. Those by-election will be held on the 14th, 2024.
Well, listen.
No, 2022. My apologies. Correction there.
Are you talking a by-election, or are you talking because the next municipal election won't be until 2026?
No, it's a by-election. Okay. The Sobota local municipality has been dissolved. Yeah,
Oh.
so there is a by-election that will be held on the 24th of December.
Or 24th of December. Say that date again, please.
On the 14th of December 2022. The by-elections will be held on the 14th December 2022.
So this year. So
It's a by-election.
all councillors be up because the municipality's been dissolved?
Yes, all councils are up because the municipality has been dissolved. All wards are contested. All PR lists are contested because the municipality has been dissolved.
Okay, so
yes,
okay,
that's the situation.
I was going to say that when I come to South Africa in February, I had not planned to come to Zeerust, but I guess I need to. But now you guys, you got an election in December. All right, I understand now. It's clear. I remember you saying it had been dissolved, but I didn't know the impact of that. So there's an election this year because the municipality's council's been dissolved. So are you meeting anymore, and are councillors still being paid?
Yes.
Okay, until December, and then when the election takes place. Okay, so all right, well that's big news, folks. If you didn't know that, that municipality now will have an election in December this year, and that's something that's not that far away. So they got to gear up for this. My goodness, we need to spread the word, and let people know about this. Hopefully you're successful and retain your seat, or maybe gain a few more seats, which would be good. And then short of that, I was getting at the 2024 national elections when there'll be provincial elections too. If you're successful, hopefully you can build on that and spread out beyond the Zeerust area and maybe pick up some more support and snag a few provincial legislature seats. That way you've got representation at the provincial and at the municipal level, and it'll also give you a chance for your party members to develop experience in governance so they can serve the people better.
Yes. Yes.
So Thabiso, let me.
But still on that, Chris, there is another issue that.
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm listening.
There's a slight delay. You go ahead.
Yes,
I'll wait.
Okay. I said still on that issue. There was another issue that I brought to the attention of them. It's a completely different matter that we have dealt with. That is in relation to the appointment of the municipal manager. That I wrote a letter to the mayor. It was on the 18th of July 2022. That letter that I wrote to the mayor, it was to introduce a question in council. The reason for that is it was because it has come to my attention that while the municipal manager was appointed, he was awarded a 2-year contract. And that was in contravention of the Municipal Systems Act, that is Section 57(6)(a), which put a prescribed limit on the employment contract of municipal manager, of which the municipal manager was not supposed to have been awarded a 2-year contract, but a 1-year contract, because he was appointed on a period on which the elections were to be held on November. So his term of office was not to exceed a period of 12 months, but it did exceed a period of 12 months. So I also wrote a letter to the mayor to say, no. That contract in law, it's invalid because it goes against the Systems Act Section 57(6)(a), because the limit is placed there. It cannot exceed a period of a year after the election of a new council. That is what I brought to her attention, that you need to pay attention. The other part that I put to the mayor was, in the minutes of the council, no way did the council resolve on the 2-year contract. What it meant is, at the point that the then mayor, realized that council has not resolved on the period, what she should have done was to go back to council and say, council, yes, you have resolved on the appointment of the municipal manager, but you did not resolve on the time frame. Based on that, resolve on the time frame. Or what the mayor should have done was to strictly adhere to the prescribed limitation of the legislation, but did not do that, went above the prescribed limitation. Based on that, I said the contract in its nature, it's invalid, because there are certain prescribed requirements that a particular person has to meet a particular requirements. And that particular person who is appointed as the municipal manager, the contract has to be within, meet the prescribed legislation. Then I brought to the attention of the mayor that no, it did not do that. So based on that, there is an invalidity to that contract. But what I can to mention is that written the letter on the 8th of July 2022, and nothing have happened. Now, tomorrow there will be a council meeting where the council will be sitting to decide on this matter. And reasons for that, it's because there was a circular issued. This circular has long been there and it has been known to the public. It's surprising that the mayor did not even before I wrote letters, come to that, to the point that she realized that there are circulars addressing the same matter that I have about those matters. There is a circular. Now, she received the circular. After receiving the circular, she wrote a letter to the MEC to request clarity. And the MEC responded. Paragraph 5 of the letter of the MEC says, I advise the council to comply with the Systems Act as amended, which it says terminate the contract. Now, tomorrow we'll be sitting to deal with the matter of terminating the contract of the municipal manager because it has run its prescribed legal limit. So here is an agenda, Chris. Tomorrow council will be sitting. But what I have picked up, not dealing with matters in public that has not served before council, is that there are issues that are concerning within the agenda, and I will be dealing with them tomorrow in council. Because what we have to do is to ensure that because the circulars that are issued on basis of court judgments that were there, where the courts were saying there is this trend whereby when contracts of municipal managers are about to end, the councils will extend those contracts. And courts were saying, no, it cannot be correct. You cannot extend a contract that has a prescribed limit, which is a 5-year fixed term contract. Now you extend it. That extension is invalid. It's an invalidity. Now, the other thing that is happening is that they will appoint municipal managers, councils, within the time frame where a new council is about to be elected and will exceed the prescribed limit of a year. No, that is an irregularity. It cannot happen. And based on that, circulars were issued. There is a trend. Courts are saying you cannot do that. That cannot happen. And I cannot even put it to you that we have a judgment that has been issued by the Northwest High Court, which addresses the same matter, saying it cannot go beyond that. Now, one thing that we can pick up in this thing is that since from July to date, there is an irregularity that has been prevailing under the watch of the mayor, where the municipal manager has been paid. While he should have not been paid, it should have been corrected by then. Now, because of the letter that I have written, but now because you see, you have the mayor who doesn't understand her role, doesn't understand who she is based on the office, not personal character, being managed by officials of the municipality, monetary-wise. That's the challenge. You have public representatives. This public representative, there is this thing, you have in South Africa that we call twerking, and I like to use it, that you have politicians twerking to the officials. And that thing is very dangerous. It's a dance, and that dance is very dangerous when you are a public representative and you start to twerk for officials. You will never perform your duty. And what is happening, most unfortunately, that you will have councillors twerking for officials because they are giving them money. And that some of the issues that I have dealt with concerning that matter, Chris.
Well, that's quite a bit that you got on your plate there. Hey, folks, you're listening to a conversation with the leader of the Forum for Democrats, Thabiso Morebantwa, who lives up there in Northwest Province along the border with Botswana, my old stomping grounds. Thabiso is the leader of the party, and they have a seat on the council up there, which has been dissolved, and it will have an election now in December. Thabiso, a couple points very quickly. Number one, maybe some advice for your folks here. I was going to suggest it if I came there in February, but it looks like you need it now. Maybe you're adhering to this already, but My recommendation, and this is less an interview and more sharing of concepts, is that your party should look at the actions that the council has taken that have been detrimental to the municipality and haven't improved service delivery, haven't improved governance. And when those opposition parties have lambasted and railed against the ANC, you should start a campaign and go, listen, let me just pick one, for instance. The EFF said that the ANC failed at this and this and this. Yet when it came time for a vote in council, the EFF voted with the ANC to do this to you. The Forum for Democrats voted with the ANC to do this against you. I think that will help your party immensely, and you've got to do that in an effective way if you've got some people that can handle media. Number two, it sounds from the outside, of course, I'm sure that I'm not wrong about this, but it sounds from the outside as if a position on the council for many of the people who sit on the council and for the political parties involved is more about personal self-enrichment and jobs program and benefits and patronage for friends and family than it is about meeting the needs of the residents of the municipality. Do you think that's an unfair statement?
No. It's a very fair statement. It's a very fair statement. That is what is happening. You'll have people come into the council, and when they get there, they forget about their communities. It's now more about their personal interest. It's more about personal development, financially wise. To an extent that you'll have allegations that some of them they bought vehicles, but surprisingly, they only drive those vehicles during the night. And you ask yourself a question, what kind of a vehicle is there that is only driven at night? So that is what is happening, that most of the people, they go into the council, and when they get there, it's about personal development, it's about financial development, it's about personal enrichment, not about their communities. That is why you'll see that there will always be strikes. There will be no longer community meetings, involvement of communities, and that thing, it's not correct. And it's because of the reason, like I'm saying, there will be cliques of councillors who are managing other councillors, playing into the desires of those councillors. And even if you have those who are honest, but because they see that the majority are taking a sideway, they are also doing that. Even if there are those who are willing to say, but no, we can't do things like this. Like I will say to you that there are many items that I said, no, it cannot be correct. Like where you have a point whereby a refuse site has to be given to a private company. And I say it cannot be correct, be happening. But the other thing that I will bring to our attention is that you will have party mandates. The other problem, the cancer of our politics in South Africa, is political mandate, where councillors will be given mandates, not only mandates that contravenes the law, but mandates that when they carry out that mandate, high officials within the ranks of political excellence are being rewarded for such a mandate. So it's a cancer again that is killing our own political space. So that is what is happening. That is the problem that is happening, that we also have political mandates that are not in line with the law. And we accept political mandates that are within the law, that are saying, no, you cannot do that. What has to happen is this, it's within the law. We accept them. But the ones that are there to ensure that those who are up high in political ranks are benefit, it's not correct. It cannot be. One of the things that is happening, Chris. But again, the other thing that is happening that I will put up to you is that, Chris, as long as you have, let me put this to you, make this an example. You have a municipal manager who will earn over 500,000, and you have a councillor who's earning 12,000, and you are told that the person who's earning 12,000 rand has to play oversight upon a person who's earning over 500,000. That's madness. There is no way, rationally so, that a person who's lowly paid can play a senior monitoring role to a person who's highly paid. Because this person who's highly paid will use money to control this war. You don't even have to school. You don't even have to study law or economics to know that the one with my financial muscle, it's just common sense. You don't have to go to school for that. So lack of local development, it's also a key issue. And there is this thing again that is happening, and it's done by SALGA. The SALGA is a body that for local government. They will have training. It's just, I don't know what to call it, training or what. Or I don't know the correct word that I can use. I don't want to sound offensive to them because they control training, Chris. But I want to say this, that they will have a format of trainings. Those trainings are useless. They are not assisting councillors in any way. Because if you are to ensure that a person has to play a monitoring role, play an oversight, you have to ensure that if you train that particular person gets out of that with an informed position, that when seated there, you will be able to tell that, no, this is right, this is correct. Because again, when you have information, capacity building training, when something happens, immediately you can pick up that is wrong. It's wrong, it cannot happen. So again, when you have information, you are exposed to an environment that is informed. You are able again to say, no, this is not right. But I think they don't have information. They are not capacitated. They are not trained. That is another problem with local development within our local government sphere. So that becomes a problem. The other issue, Chris, that I want to put to you is that we can have whistleblowers. Let me say this to you. If I was not of a bold nature, I wouldn't have done this. Because once you pointed out the wrongs, let me tell you, you'll have threats. You'll be threatened. People will be calling you to say, you stop this, or you are putting your life at risk. And when you are not listening, they don't end there. They say, okay, you want to continue with that. Not for the fact that you are putting your children at risk. Now, it is only because of the boldness that I will say, no. You won't believe me. I have the security at home. Because there were political threats that even if I'm not there, I'm aware that my family is protected. I have to install. It was not a choice, Chris. I have to install a security within my home because there were political threats. So it was not only about me. They were threatening not only me, they were threatening my wife, they were threatening my children. So until people who are called whistleblowers within South Africa, there is a law and they are protected, people will not be able to stand up. Because the other problem is that you have people who are equating or giving these fraudulent, corrupt con artists, officials and politicians high above. They are giving them a high scale. And on that basis, people are afraid because people are being gunned, people are being killed. There are all sorts of things that are happening. And because of that, people are afraid to come forth and say, no, this is happening. But because of the boldness, I managed to say, no, it cannot be correct, Chris.
Well, Thabiso, in fact, that's one of the concerns that some of my viewers and myself, that's a concern that some of my viewers and myself have had about your speaking publicly and sharing this about your safety. We've seen there's actually law in South Africa to protect whistleblowers, but it's not followed properly. They're supposed to do a threat assessment. They're supposed to provide security for people with legitimate threats against them, particularly political, especially for blowing the whistle against the government. But the government is failing miserably. We've seen the assassination of Babita Deokaran, and now we've just recently saw the assassination of another whistleblower just a couple of days ago. This stuff is horrific. I appeared on SABC yesterday during a session in which they were talking to whistleblowers and about whistleblowing. They actually came to me for a comment, but I think they thought I was a whistleblower, so I had to straighten them out. I'm not a whistleblower, but actually a journalist covering it. But it's a horrible situation. Yeah, to be fair, the guy hosting the panel didn't know who all the people on the panel were, so I think he came to me because I was the best looking white guy on the panel. So actually, the only white guy. So I think that's why he came to me. But seriously, so for for the election, I don't know if how you do this. If your party puts up the faces of some of the people that if you get seats, they would represent the people. So do you have a slate of people? I mean, you have a 1 through 10 or something like that. And are you making those faces known and having those people get out so they can bring people to your banner? And have you started your campaign already? I mean, if it's in December, we're talking only a few weeks away.
Yes, we are doing that, Chris, that we are campaigning, but I will make you aware that this side, it's heavily raining. Even today, I was unable to go there because it has been raining all day. So you'll have a period of about 2 days to 3 days where there is rain. It's falling. It's raining this side. But that being that, what we are doing, we are using social media. Where we have an opportunity where it's not raining, we are going there, we are putting people up and saying, because what we are doing, we are running a community-based campaign. We don't want someone who will just come and the community does not even know that particular person, and that particular person does not have the interest of the community. So that is what we are doing. We are busy with that because it's not only that, is that we have a timeline again that by the 21st of this month, we have to register. It's a final cut date to register candidates. So we are running on a short schedule. Though it's raining, we are trying all our best to go out there and campaign and to make Forum for Democrats known and its candidate. That is what we are doing. And we believe that and trust God that we will prevail and manage to have seats in this municipality. That is what we are doing.
Well, let me ask you this question very quickly before we wrap up there, Thabiso. What are your biggest challenges, other than the fact that it's almost like a snap election? It's like almost tomorrow. It's just a few weeks away. Aside from that and the rain, which is keeping you from campaigning right now, what other challenges are you having? Are the media covering it or not covering it? Are you able to raise funds, not raise funds? What challenges do you have to gain seats and gain representation for the residents of your municipality in this upcoming election?
Yes, I will be brutally honest with you. You know, elections, Chris, are very expensive. You'll have other political parties. I will not mention them by name because I don't want to give them space. There will be who have resources. So our constraint to move as fast as we can and to do everything to the best of our ability is one, finances. Yes, we have a challenge in regard to media coverage, but can augment by using social spaces. But the key issue that we have, it's finances, because you have to make placards, you have to make sure that you do door-to-door visits, you have to have pamphlets whereby people can be able to see that you can communicate with them directly. You have to make t-shirts that have an emblem. You got to have something like that is like behind me here. So those are things that you need for the elections. You have to be mobile. You have to have placards. You have to have pamphlets. You got to have t-shirts. You know, all sorts of means of things that you need. So by doing that, you cannot in any way be able to do those things without finances. But we are trying our very best within our constraints to access the Tsobotla local municipality. So I'll make a plea right now to all people who are listening now that any kind of donation will be accepted monetary wise. Obviously, we will have to declare that to the IEC. We will do that. We will make it known. We will make it public. We will make it known to the IEC that we have received donations, even if it's t-shirts or pamphlets, any kind of donation that can assist us to be able to make what we want to do is provide a particular kind of leadership to our people.
Well, Thabiso, does the party have a bank account or a backup buddy or a PayPal account or something like that where people can make a donation and we can share that information with them?
Yes, Chris. We have that. I will privately give that to you, so that on your part you can see how you can do that. Make it private. We do.
All right. Well, if what we'll do then is we'll list that up there. I'm not familiar enough with election law in South Africa to know about what I can or can't say, and whether I can help you with your party. I'm not
Yes.
sure. So, but I can't. There's nothing wrong with me posting a link to it, so I'll do that. And I'll also mention an upcoming election. So, what's the date again for that election? December what?
The elections is on the 14th December 2022. And like you say, Chris, that you know our laws, that if we are to receive any money that come outside the country, cannot use it for the proceeds of the election, but we can use it to capacitate our people, maybe for training of party agents, training for officials. Because one of the challenges that we have is to ensure that we have party agents, because without having party agents, you don't have people that can directly report on the spot what is happening. Because if you have those people and who are knowledgeable, who are capacitated, now you are able to pick up things. So the by-elections is on the 14th of December 2022, and we are urging our people in the Tsobotla local municipality to vote for Forum for Democrats, and to say to anyone who is in the Tsobotla local municipality who has an interest within our own organization, Forum for Democrats, to contact us, to speak with us. We are open to everyone. We are not choosy or looking down on anyone. Anyone of goodwill who is interested to join can do that and contact us as Forum for Democrats.
Well, excellent. I presume that you don't want corruption thieves, but so they're not welcome. But everybody else is probably welcome to join your party. So Thabiso, thank you very much. Let me say, Cllr. I really appreciate you coming back on again. Best of luck in these elections. We'll pay attention to it. Unfortunately, the timing is not great for me because I'm traveling outside the country on Wednesday, and I'll be back at the end of the month. But maybe we can stay in touch and then maybe get you back on the air after I get back late in the month to update people on the progress that you're hopefully achieving in the municipality. So best of luck, and thank you once again, Cllr.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. And finally, I will say my contact is 061 983 2631. Thank you very much. I thank you. Cllr.
All right, folks, that's Thabiso. I'm going to put Thabiso in the waiting room because I got to wrap up here. Let me put him over there. It's been a while since I've done this. Where are you at there? Okay. All right. He's in the waiting room. All right. Thanks, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. I hope that was informative. And there's a reason we latched onto this story when Michael Atkins first made me aware of it. Of course, I have an affinity with the Tswana people, the Setswana speakers, the Botswana. Interesting people, wonderful culture, wonderful human beings, and of course, the ties that go across the borders between South Africa and Botswana. So I also love the area. It's a beautiful area. So that was of interest to me. While I find Zeerust to be kind of a boring place, little cow town, nonetheless, it was interesting. And so when Michael Atkins made us aware of what had happened by the IEC refusing to acknowledge their error and correct it, it seemed like an injustice, and I got involved. As a foreign national, I got involved in trying to help South Africa resolve the correct outcome of its elections. And as you can see, I think that we probably did the right thing. It looks like Thabiso Morebantwa is on the right track. He's taking great risk. He's trying to expose fraud, and he's trying to represent the residents of that town. The story he was talking about when he went to Rietvlei was the day that I was supposed to link up with him with a radio station to talk to residents and let the community know about what's happening out there, the poor state of infrastructure and the neglect that's occurred over the past 28 years from the ANC running the municipality. Unfortunately, that morning I was diverted around a fraudulent, fake service delivery protest. They sent youths out to terrorize the roads and put tires on it and block traffic, ostensibly because they wanted water. The thing is, they have water. They just wanted the contract to be diverted to another company, and so the Toitsi hired a bunch of kids to go out and do that. So I drove an hour and a half out of my way and then got stopped by the police in a big dragnet. Nothing came of that. I was freed along with hundreds of other people, but they stopped me and delayed me. So those two stops delayed my travel, and so I couldn't get there to see him in time. And then later that day, of course, I bent two rims on a tire outside of Rustenburg. So it was quite an epic journey that day. But anyway, the point of the story here is that they went to Rietvlei, and hopefully people see that they care, and maybe that will draw people to their standard. Anyway, folks, thanks a lot. I'll be back at the top of the hour in about 5 minutes with the news. It's Decision 2022. United States goes to the polls tomorrow. For those who haven't voted early or by mail or federal absentee mail-in ballot, tomorrow's the election. And I will be covering elections all day as a judge of elections. So I want to get the news out today to let you know about that. So tune in just a couple minutes. We'll see you here shortly for that. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like and leave a comment behind if you like. I will get the contact information for the Forum for Democrats if you'd like to help them in their quest to pick up some seats and represent the people of that municipality. Thank you very much, folks, and take care of yourselves. I'll catch you here shortly, and I do appreciate your support for the channel. God bless, and have a lovely day. Hopefully, we'll see you in 5 minutes.